Good morning, Celtic fans. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View Celtic FC News channel. And in this morning's Celtic FC News, we're going to be talking about the top of the league. We're going to talk about the middle of the league as well, because it's getting really interesting. We're going to talk about Willie Wallace versus Kris Boyd on the homecoming tour of for Celtic, and the fact that Rangers are basically coattail hanging on to the fact that they're coming along to play with us. We talk about the club statement that was released yesterday that left Celtic supporters out of pocket, gone on the biscuit tin day mentality, where Celtic would just keep all the coffers. They're now charging you twice, although it was Sadeco, the external company that does the catering within Celtic Park, that charged you twice, and I'm going to that as well. Ange reveals that he's planning to be here for a while. And what other news? Oh, Hes Goals is closed down. Don't know if it's affecting Scottish football yet. I know it's affected the English league games, but if you're still paying for Sky or anything like that, you're crazy. You need to get yourself a Fire Stick. And if anybody wants to promote a Fire Stick on this channel, feel free to get in contact. I'll do that for you. Anyway, getting back to the news. Get back to the Kris Boyd mayhem that's just going on. This story's going on and on and on. I'm going to play devil's advocate on this story and on this video today. Willie Wallace versus Kris Boyd on the Ange Postecoglou homecoming tour, as it's been suggested that it is by Celtic. Willie Wallace, the Lisbon Lion, has been staying down in Australia since the 1980s. He's more insightful than what Kris Boyd is. Now, I can completely understand why Celtic fans don't want it, and Rangers fans obviously, but we're going to go into that in a minute. But I can also understand why it's such a good thing for Celtic fans down under. Let's face it, for this tour, Celtic fans aren't going to go down. It's not going to be like going to Ajax for a friendly during the summer, where Celtics are going to take 8 to 10,000, 15,000 people. There's no way you're going to get a mass amount of people travelling down to Australia. So for the likes of Kris Boyd and everybody saying that, you know, there's going to be these mixed flights and it's going to be mayhem, it's just total rubbish. But we'll go into that in a minute. So anyway, with both Dave King and Kris Boyd getting in on the jokes about manufactured t-shirts and the fact that Celtic are getting 3/4 of the money and Rangers are only getting a quarter of the money, not even quarter of the money that Celtic are getting, it's quite funny. So anyway, writing in his column again, Kris Boyd against the club taking part in the homecoming tour. We spoke about this yesterday in the video. Let me just skip to the story. And yeah, the Old Firm derby, as he's said, he goes on to say, Boyd goes on to say about the way that Police Scotland know how to manage this. Now, you're not going to get, see when you've got Celtic fans and Rangers fans when they're away from Scotland and they've stayed away from Scotland for many years, you don't get the same animosity as it's watered down. Let's face facts. It's a watered down atmosphere that you get. You get Celtic fans. I mean, I've seen Rangers fans coming into a Celtic pub to watch the game over here. They don't come in with their tops on. You know, it is watered down. So we don't want to play a friendly. Let's just face facts. I mean, it'd be good for the Australian fans to see it, but Willie Wallace has went on to say he's lived in Australia for many years. This will be a competitive match as always, and he expects the stadium to be a sellout, says Willie Wallace, the Lisbon Lion. It's been a long time coming because he's talked about it for a while. Willie Wallace has told David Friel, he says, in the past, people were very keen to have Celtic play Rangers in Australia because there's interest, and there's always been a massive following for Celtic down under. For whatever reason, it didn't get finalised, but he's glad and he's all for it now. And it's funny because I think Graham Souness is actually for it as well. There are thousands of fans from both clubs who emigrated. Most of them, the Rangers fans, probably went over in the prison ships back in the early days, but enough to say about that. Anyway, should there be an Old Firm match? There's no Old Firm, let's face it, the club's only 10-year-old. So should there be a Celtic Rangers match played down under? I don't think it's actually going to happen now. I think Rangers fans are just, they're going to go against their club. I mean, they got their club to reduce the allocation from 8,000, 7,500, 8,000 down to 850. So, you know, who actually cares if they turn up or not? Anyway, in other news, because this video's getting on a bit, okay, we'll go. Let's see. First of all, he says, I know lots of guys on both sides over here. They love the different clubs, but they get on well. like I said, it's a watered down atmosphere within Celtic Rangers fans when you're thousands of miles away from home. They hold Celtic and Sevco golf days and they invite each other. I'm sure the banter will be flowing, Willie Wallace says, but it's a different occasion in Australia. The authorities think it will go down well. You don't get the trouble over here at football. You know, he said it's destroying the point made. He's basically destroying the point made, and I'll destroy that point as well. When you stay thousands of miles away from Scotland and you're a Celtic fan, you hate them. You still hate them. You hate them with a passion, but there's not that, you can't go, it's not like going into a pub back home. If you were to walk into a Rangers pub back home, you would be a Celtic top on, you would get murdered, let's face facts. And the same going, probably not a Celtic pub, because Celtic fans are a bit more, let's say, mellow about the facts, but they are just the bigoted brothers. Anyway, this video has went on for ages so far. So Celtic released a statement yesterday where the statement said, due to a technical error within the system in the stadium, catering partner unfortunately had duplicate charges been made on transactions carried out on Wednesday's match against St Mirren. All supporters affected will be refunded automatically as soon as possible. Celtic FC and Sodexo Live apologise sincerely to those supporters affected. Hospitality company Sodexo Live meanwhile said an investigation has taken place into the duplicate transactions. So anyway, imagine getting charged twice for your pie. Ange says that he's doing everything to make sure that the things that he puts in place in Celtic are going to last for years, even if he's not here. He says basically the Celtic were a mess this time last year, which is true, and you can blame lots of people within the side Celtic for the mess it was in last year, focusing too much on the whole 9 and 10 in a row. You know, there was nothing put in place for the long term. He's brought in a system, he's brought in things, and he plans to be here for years to come, which will benefit Celtic. And it can only be a good thing, you know. And it's good having someone that isn't within the Celtic family, as you say, that hasn't been a Celtic player. You know, he's not really had anything to do with the club before he came to Celtic. He says, but he assumes, Celtic manager assumes he will be here for the next 10 years. And he probably won't be, but every decision that he's making is to make sure that the club is in a good state going forward for the next years. He's going on about the length of contracts and decisions that he makes within the club. It is not a short-term approach that the Celtic manager is taking. And that's probably about it for today. What do you think the score will be? This is probably one of the longest videos I've done in a long time. Thanks for watching to the end. If you've watched to the end, have a great day. I'm still going to go Celtic 1, Livingston 0 in today's game. I might do a live after the game today, it depends how I feel. Thanks for all the support yesterday. Thanks for the guys that helped me out with the mic over the last couple of days. And I'm sure, make sure that you actually go to the community tab, because the community tab on this channel is where it all kicks off. It's brilliant, it's fantastic. Anyway, thanks very much guys. Have a fantastic day and I'll see you on the next video.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the